Okay, now that you've done all of your beautiful animation here in After Effects, whether you've used a Photoshop file, which this one is, or whether you've just designed everything right in After Effects, if it was something fairly simple, now how do you actually export, or what's called render in After Effects, an actual video file you can use in a program such as Premiere Pro? So I'm going to show you how to do that, because right now this is just a project file. You can't use it anywhere, although it does have ties to Premiere, but I won't get into that. Let's just export or render this out as a video file and then add it in this project file, this sequence in Premiere. Okay, so that's where we're going. We're going to take this lower third. What's it going to look like? It's going to look like this. All I'm going to do is export out or render out these three things: the flag, the red rectangle, and the white. Okay, so there's some kind of an error here with this. I don't really care right now, but there is an animation. Let's play it. There it is. Okay, yeah, it's fine. So I do have an animation. Everything moves. We're all good. Now, here's the first thing you need to do. We've got two bars up here above the timeline. Okay, one of them is to zoom in, the little tiny one. Look at how it's compressing. It's bringing the end of the timeline more to the left. Okay, so that's to just sort of, it's similar to this. In fact, they work together. If I go here and then I manage to zoom here, look at the bottom where the two mountains are here. It's moving in conjunction with this. So that's the thinner one. So that's just the zoom level on your timeline. The other one's the one we really have to pay attention to right now. It's called the work area. It's this other thicker bar down here, and see it says work area start. Well, I do want to start right at the beginning of my animation. My animation starts at something like 15 frames, so I don't want to trim off anything off the front. But look down here, I've got all this extra stuff down here because it's a 10-second composition, I believe. Let's go see how long it is. Right click, composition setting. It's a 10-second composition. Well, I don't need it to be 10 seconds. I'm going to drag in the end of the work area here. See how you can see it sort of grayed out. 10 frames, 20 frames. Let me see what we've got. Got to be careful. So that's right now 4 seconds. I'm going to make this, I'll make it 4 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to make the work area 4 seconds. What will happen is this graphic will animate and then it'll hold for 4 seconds. And then it'll cut out. I'm not going to animate the full 10 seconds. I don't need it. I'll make it 5. Why not? 5 seconds. Okay, right there. Okay, so I'm going to export out or render out 5-second timeline. It's going to animate and then it's going to hold up to 5 seconds. So how do I do that? Well, after setting your work area, you're going to go to Composition, Add to Render Queue. Shift Command M if you want, but I find it's just easy to remember to go to Composition, Add to Render Queue, and then, oh, look what's happened. My timeline's gone. It's actually back here on this tab. And then over on the right, you've got a Render tab. So look at this. I've got some different things here. I'm going to delete the one I had previously. So here's the one we're going to actually render out. Okay. Let's look at these three settings. Best settings. Well, you did your best, so why not render out the best quality? If this was just sending say you had to email a very complex animation to somebody, you needed to have it like low quality so you could actually email it, then you might go down to these other settings. But best is all we're going to use in class. You're going to do the full resolution, okay? Full quality, 1920 by 1080. The frame rate is here. Let's just keep it at 2997. And then here's the important part. Time span. I can either render out the work area only, which I just set over here. Right? I just set that, so why don't I use that? Go back to render, best, so work area, or if I'm not sure, I can always render out the entire length, the entire 10 seconds of my composition. Let's go to the work area and let's see, it's just 5 seconds when it exports. Okay, oh, there it is. Starts at 0, ends at 4 seconds 28 frames. Good enough. Okay, then click OK. So I've set my render settings. Now let's go to output module. What's that? Lossless. What does lossless mean? Lossless means that it is not going to compress this video. In other words, it's going to very efficiently do the mathematics without getting rid of pixel information to give us the absolute highest quality we can, up to the original quality of the shapes and the picture. Okay, if you compress a video, it will make it a smaller file size, yes, but anytime you make a smaller file size, there's always a compromise. Smaller file size is going to mean lower quality. Bigger file size is going to mean better quality. However, if the file is too big, then maybe it's not all that practical to use. So it's always a balance. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to format options. And look, quality 100%. Let's keep it there. Okay, 100%. If you needed to, for example, your computer doesn't run that well, you could take this down to probably about 70% and it would still look good. Keep it at 100 if you're able to. Okay, now this is the really important one. Channels, RGB, red, green, blue. I'm going to render all 3 color channels. However, here's the trick. You must click RGB and go RGB plus alpha. What alpha is the transparency information in this render. In other words, all this black screen here, this is all transparent. I don't want to see a black screen over my video. I want all this transparent information where there is nothing to be invisible. And that's what the alpha channel does. It defines the invisible area in your composition. Gotta have it RGB alpha. Okay, everything else you can leave alone. One of the things I didn't talk about yet is we're in QuickTime format. Leave it there because if you're not, if you go to like H.264, okay, you may not be able to get the alpha channel out. See, it's grayed out now. Even though it showed it was alpha, it's grayed out. You gotta be in QuickTime, which is an Apple format way back when. Again, change it, RGB alpha. Okay, click OK. Done. So the render settings, the output module, let's just tell it now. Click and tell it where to save it. I'm going to save it in my folder with all my other After Effects work. I know where it is. I'm going to call this exported or rendered Drake. I'm just going to call it shapes only as alpha output. I'm just going to put that on there just so I can easily find it and click save. So that's where I'm going to save it, and that's what I've called this. So the file, this is actually going to create a video file. .mov will be the file extension. That's again QuickTime. Okay, so again, click it. Sorry, click this. This is the important thing. QuickTime RGB alpha. Format, quality 100%. Those are the 3 settings, okay? And then what am I going to do? I'm going to just, oh, look at how inconvenient that is, a little hidden, right? So, I mean, I probably spent about 1.5 years looking for that. Render. You click render over here and watch what happens. You're going to actually see this graphic being mathematically created and going through its build. We call that a graphic build or an animation build, okay? Watch this, render. Now it's going to do, oh, very fast because it's a pretty small animation. It's only 5 seconds. And there you go. And it gives you that nice little tone to say, yeah, baby, we did it. Okay, so now what am I going to do? I'm going to do it a second time, actually. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to composition. So I go back to my graphic, composition, render queue. I'm going to do it wrong just to show you what happens. I'm going to go to my best settings and all that can stay the same. I'm going to go to lossless and I'm going to forget to go to alpha, RGB alpha. I'm going to forget. Okay. Everything else is going to be the same. This is going to be called no alpha. So Drake lower third shapes, no alpha. Just to show you the difference. I'm going to save it in the same place. I'm going to render it out. There she goes. Okay, so I've got two versions, one with the transparency and one without. So, okay, let's go to Premiere Pro now. Bring it up. I've created this project file already. There's the sequence. The sequence again is what gives us the timeline, just like After Effects, no sequence, no editing. Command Z, so that's what the sequence does. Okay, double click it and there it is back. So there's a new Drake photo. I'm going to put that video animation now over top of this. So first thing I got to do is go to import in Premiere Pro. I'm going to go find those graphics. They're actually videos now. I shouldn't say graphics. They're now video graphics, animated graphics. Where are we? We're in the graphics unit. Okay, and down After Effects tutorials. Here it is here. Okay, so there is Drake, no alpha, and Drake with alpha. So I'm going to select them both. I'm going to import both, and I'm going to show you the difference. One with alpha, which is the transparency channel. It's a separate channel. And the other without alpha or transparency. And what are you going to see? So let's go find the alpha one first. And they both look the same here, right? Because they're both on black, but they won't both work the same when we put it over top. So let me go up here first. I'll just drag this over. There we go. Let me zoom in on this timeline. Okay. Like so. Okay. And I'm going to take this one. Which one is it? Let me click on it. This is alpha output. So if I take this and drag it and just place it on top like a title. Okay. Now let me play it. There you go. You see the transparencies there? Look at this. This is the opacities there that I created in Photoshop. So everything's there. Everything's cutting through. It's overlaying over top of the picture below because it has the alpha channel. How long is this? Let me just delete it. Let me bring it in again. I'll bring it right to the very start, take it to the end. And yes, in fact, it is almost 5 seconds. There we go. 4 seconds, 28 frames. Okay, which is exactly what I wanted when I export it. So beautiful. Now what I can do in Premiere Pro is I can make this longer, shorter, just like it's any other piece of media. Okay, select it and I can drag it out. Actually, this has a defined length because it's a video now. It's not like a graphic. So 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 seconds is probably plenty, but if you want to keep it the full length of the composition of 10 seconds, you can do that too, because then you can decide, you know, I can make this shorter right now, but I can't make it longer. So if you want to go with the full 10 seconds, you can, and then trim it in Premiere Pro. Okay, beautiful. Now, let me take the alpha version. Let me just drag this picture out. Put the alpha version back. There we go. Now let's go look at the version where, remember, what did I not do? I did not, in the second one, under custom, let me get it to work. Come on. Oh, I've got to add it again. Let me add it again. Composition, add to render queue. Okay, so the second version, I only kept it as RGB. I did not. I forgot to go to alpha. Okay, so that's the only difference between the two. Go back. Let me drag it on top. Okay, and what am I going to see? Look at that. This is not transparent because I forgot to go RGB plus alpha. So I'm getting the black of the composition panel in the background, and Drake is covered. So that doesn't work. That's the importance of going RGB alpha. All right, but look at the quality. I'm going to get rid of that now because you can see it doesn't work. Okay, but look at the quality. Look at sharp, beautiful. Everything's like I wanted it to be. Very nice. And that's kind of a cool looking animation. I think the red one I would adjust a little bit if I was redoing it, but pretty slick. Okay, and now this is a video that I've overlaid. If I did want to extend it a bit, I could slow down this video clip. I could right click it. I could go to speed duration. This is in Premiere Pro now. Instead of 100%, let's go 80%. And watch what's going to happen. When I slow it down, it's going to lengthen the title clip. Watch this. There you go. But it's also going to slow down the animation, which defeats the whole purpose of me making the decisions in After Effects. But if you wanted to do it by a few frames because you had to, you could. See, it slows it down a bit. Okay? So that's how you're going to export or render out as a video by adding something to the render queue. Queue just means put it in line, get it ready to go, change your settings, and you'll be good to go.